What's up, everybody? I got another reaction video. Let's get it.
Older men and much younger women. It is the bane of existence for older women all over the world. And so when Leonardo DiCaprio finally broke his infamous 24-year streak of not going over 25, some older women felt a shift and hoped that older men would now start dating more appropriately. But then 72-year-old Bill Belichick said, "Not on my watch," and dove headfirst into the lap of the 23-year-old Jordan Hudson, triggering older women all over again.
He did not choose her because she's younger than you aesthetically. Oh no. He chose her because she's younger than you mentally.
Let me tell you something. That fucking dating pool is full of piss.
Men in their 60s are looking for the younger woman, and they expect that they can get it.
Yeah, newsflash, they do get it. Older men do get it. They go overseas, but isn't it a natural fact that a lot of women like older men anyway, right? And it's also a natural fact that older men or men in general like younger women, right? Especially, those guys that are in their 50s, 40s who are single, even 60s, like what this woman said. They generally like younger women because younger women are more submissive, they're feminine, they're teachable, they're agreeable. They don't have a past, meaning they don't have baggage, which is a big thing, and they're easy to get along with. And that's very attractive to a lot of men, a lot of old men.
More than 2 decades older than or younger than you. What do you have in common?
Because the reason he's pursuing you is because he's trying to manipulate you.
If it's just physical.
If you gave a man a choice, let's say he's 55 years old. If you gave him a choice, either have a beautiful 55-year-old woman, if that's if that exists, or have a 23-year-old beautiful woman as well. If he had a choice, who would he choose? He would go with the 23-year-old. Why? Because the 55-year-old woman, you have to wonder why she's single. Obviously, she's got a lot of baggage, which she will bring into the relationship. She has a history. You don't know what the history is. You don't know what the body count is. She's been traumatized from other relationships, which older men that age don't want to deal with. So why would they go with a 55-year-old when they can go with a 23-year-old who's still in their feminine, still in their prime, can have babies, and they're agreeable, like what I said before. So that's why a lot of men are so attracted to younger women. And if you look throughout history, right, there's a reason why the kings and conquerors, they didn't marry older women, right? They married younger women. All the kings throughout history married young women, right? Doesn't matter how old they are. And most kings would marry virgins, right? Because that was considered sacred. A king wouldn't sleep with a woman who has a body count of 10, 20, 100, even 2. No. So if the king was 60 years old, he wouldn't marry a 60-year-old woman as one of his wives or a concubine. They would always get him a suitable younger wife. Why? Because they're much better. They're much suitable. They're they're still in their prime. No one wants to drive a used car. They always want a new one. If you get what I'm saying.
That's one thing, but I also have a sensitivity to that of power dynamics.
Some of them have developed an unhealthy relationship with sex.
When men my age go and date women who are 15, 20, 25, 30 years younger than themselves.
Ultimately, it's predatory.
If the guy you are talking to is 5+ years older than you will be easy for him to manipulate.
They have followed their libido to the dark side.
My dating is not age appropriate. The people.
No, they left the dark side. Okay. This woman here said they have followed their libido to the dark side. No, they actually left the dark side to go find the light. And that light is a younger woman. I'm sorry to say, but it's been like that. With the men, it's been like that throughout the beginning of time. If you're biblical, there's a lot of men in the Bible. Abraham, who's had many wives. Solomon, King David, all had many wives. Oh, probably not Abraham, but I'll say Solomon and King David did. And as they aged, they still married younger women because they had multiple wives. And they still had a lot of concubines, which were young. They never married. When they were old in their age, they never married a woman in the same age.
Libido to the dark side.
My dating is not age appropriate. If the people who are pissed off at that, fuck you.
Yeah.
Older women hating on older men for dating younger women. It is such a classic, but it's getting a revamp because in the past, older women would simply admit that they hate being passed over for a younger girl. However, nowadays, older women brag about how they don't need a man and how they are so much happier without them.
We don't need you guys for anything. Deal with it.
Then why complain when they leave the country to go find other women? Why complain? A lot of women are saying the same thing that this woman is saying. But when they do leave, and all the men are, not all the men, but most men are checking out to go find another woman in another country who are more traditional, then they start complaining like this woman. Man, you can't make this shit up.
With it.
While at the same time, they try to turn it around by selling you on the idea that older women are the better alternative.
There are women who are age appropriate, who are so filled with life, so much love to give.
By 60, she's figured out her weight change, her skin change. A woman has gone through menopause.
No, at that age, what you need to figure out is which cat you're gonna buy to spend the rest of your life with. You better start thinking about wildlife now. You better start thinking about puppies, kittens, animals that will keep you company for the rest of your life, because that's pretty much what's gonna happen.
What the fuck? Is she seriously selling menopause as a perk? Please drop a like on the video if you think that older women have no clue what men truly want.
Yes, please drop a like and comment on the video and subscribe if you want more. Cheers.
And comment down below what you think. Because seriously, how completely tone deaf can you be to pitch menopause as an argument to date a 60-year-old? That is crazy.
She's embraced her new sexuality that she has back. So guys,
new sexuality? She's embraced her new sexuality? Oh man. Listen, your chances of getting sex at that age is minimal, right? Who would a man rather sleep with? A 60-year-old woman? And she'll probably freely give it up. Or a 23-year-old woman? No, there's no new sexuality. It's over. It's finished. It's kaput, finito. Bye-bye. See you later, alligator. You're done.
I have to say, I think you're missing it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think I'm gonna pass on the 60-year-old vag. I'm sure it's just as good.
It's right here in front of you, and maybe you're not ready for that.
Oh, I'm definitely not ready. But in all seriousness, this just shows you that older women do not get what guys truly want, or they simply don't care, which is fine. But then don't complain when these older men that do take care of themselves and are financially well established have zero interest in you and are going for the 20-year-olds. Now what's absolutely hilarious about this whole debate is that older women always contradict themselves. For instance, they claim that 40 and 50-year-old men wanting to date 20-year-olds are losers and that these 20-year-olds are not interested in them.
That young woman is not attracted to your old ex-husband.
But at the same time, they also claim that those younger women are only with them for their money and would leave them as soon as the money runs out.
She wants the bag that comes with him. She's hoping he will kick and leave her the bucket.
So what?
No, you're hoping. This woman right here, she's hoping that they'll all come back and get her. I'm sorry, but you're like a 3, maybe a 3.5 on your best day. But yeah, it's the same woman like this who are all complaining when they're the ones that are telling men to leave.
Hoping he will kick and leave her the bucket.
So what? Even if it's true for 100% of cases, which I highly doubt, then it would still not matter, since regardless if you're dating a 20-year-old or a 40-year-old, it is the same rigged game, just with better prices at the lower end. Since all women are interested in the financial health of a man, some are just a bit more classy about it.
Take this from someone who is married to a rich and successful man, and all women want it. We can never say that we don't.
I just had all 5 of my niggas pay for all my expenses out here, period. Room, rental, wig, hair, nails, feet, and my friendship.
Be brave enough to tell men that you want him to provide. It doesn't need to be a luxurious lifestyle. It doesn't need to be a crazy amount of money. But in the time when you have small children, you guys need to be able to live on his salary.
Do you really think that 40 and 50-year-old women do not care about how much money a guy makes, or the job that he has, or if he owns a house, what car he drives, or how much he has saved? Of course they do. Some might even care a whole lot more about this than women in their early 20s.
Yeah.
The only difference is that for older women, the money is just one out of a 1,000-point list of bullshit that they want the guy to meet. Whereas some younger women just say, I want a rich guy and f*** everything else.
If you're ready to drop the dusties and date wealthy men, then listen the hell up.
Story time on how I met my millionaire boyfriend.
Where to meet billionaires out in New York, billionaires with a B.
I'm going to teach you how to attract a rich man into your life.
And this all have to do with the dirty little secret of modern feminism, which is that despite all of the propaganda of the girl boss and being independent, young women still massively love spending money a whole lot more than they love making it. And so a lot of them would much rather have easy money by having a guy make it for them so that they don't have to do the 60 to 80 hours a week grind.
When I complain about work and people are like, well, get a new job then. I'm like, no, I don't like working.
Does anyone else feel like they're absolutely drowning financially as a single 29-year-old woman?
Well, that's what feminism got you, right? You wanted a career, you wanted to be like a man, you wanted to be a leader, and look where it got you. 29 and single? Yo, you're on that borderline now. You're about to hit the wall. Give it a couple of years. This woman's about to hit the wall. And if she's still single, oh well. And a lot of women, right, when they get to their age and they still don't have kids, and they're 29, approaching 30, then they start worrying. Then they start panicking. Then they come on TikTok or wherever and start complaining or start crying about, where are all the good men at, or where are the kids? I want children. You had your chance in your prime years in your 20s. So you got ran through in your 20s. You had a great time with your hoe phase and your rosters. And now that you're reaching the point of where you want children, your value has gone down. And if you are already a single mother, your value is probably kaput, finished, finito, right? Why don't you try this? Why don't women just find a good man in their early 20s, be submissive, feminine, agreeable, teachable, have a family, and try that. Maybe you'll be happy by the time you're 30.
I have 3 jobs, and I'm still struggling, and I'm just getting myself farther and farther into credit card debt because I don't have enough.
I'm one of those people where I don't care how broke I am. I will never want extra hours at a job. I will never cover for anyone. I really want to work as least as possible.
I'm gonna show you guys an insane case that perfectly highlights just how much young women prefer easy money over working hard and using their brains. But before I do, it's important to establish what a rich older guy truly is. Because a lot of older women like to throw out the argument that you're not DiCaprio or Bezos, so you can't get a younger girl. But that's just cope, since you don't have to be a billionaire to be considered a financially well-off guy.
Yeah.
All of these guys here are nobodies, they're not billionaires, and they're dating much younger women.
Hey everyone, get ready with me. I'm here with my boyfriend Mark. Mark is 44 and I'm 20, and he has 2 children.
Since being financially well-off just means you are financially well-off compared to your surroundings.
Yeah.
You see, if you make $65K a year living in Manhattan, then yeah, you're basically broke living on food stamps. But if you make $65K a year living in Kentucky or West Virginia,
Pretty
you
good.
make more than the average household combined, and you can buy an entire house for as little as $200,000 in one of the safest cities and extremely safe states, and you can really live a comfortable life with plenty of money to spare for traveling and spoiling a hot 20-year-old if you choose to do so.
Mm.
I'm saying if you're on a date and he wants to pay for the bill, don't fight him. Let him do it.
Older men are obsessed with potential. They love a girl who works out, who is very well put together, who has the clean girl and kind of innocent girl look.
Do you really want to have to come to terms with the fact that you spent 30 or 40 years climbing a corporate ladder you didn't even give a shit about? I'm only saying this because I love you. You could be traveling the world right now.
This brings us to the question of why would younger women want to be dating older men if the main benefit of doing so is simply being provided for, and we are now living in a time where young women can easily do that for themselves? Well, it's quite simple. You see, providing a nice, comfortable life for yourself is indeed possible for most women in the West, but it's not easy.
People are always saying that the average American makes $45,000 a year. Where does the average American work? I want to make $45,000 a year. Are you kidding me? The most I have ever made is $30,000 in a year.
You have to either learn a blue-collar trade and do hard physical labor to make good money, or you have to build a successful business that also requires hard work, stress, and a lot of dedication. Or you can go the classic route of working your ass off to get into a good college, graduate, and then spend the next 10 to 20 years grinding at a company to earn a massive salary and great benefits. However, the question is, how many of them actually want to put the work in to get to that level?
I have to go back to the office on Monday the 31st, and I can't even go into my local office. They're making us drive to the closest district office, which is an hour and a half one way for me. I know y'all. I know that y'all probably think that this isn't a big deal.
I would rather be extremely broke with free time than rich and working all the time. I really hate working.
I've just quit my full-time job and I've got no plan, no money, no next job, but I feel free.
So clearly, we're now living in a time where we have a generation that wants to live the most comfortable life possible for the least amount of work done.
Absolutely.
And so nothing proves this hypothesis of young women wanting an easy life and easy money more than the invention of OnlyFans.
I've cried so much over this decision to quit my PhD, because it's a stressful decision. But moving on to doing OnlyFans.
My God, man. OnlyFans did to women's self-respect what Ozempic did to body positivity. It absolutely nuked it.
I'm no longer bound by the expectations of an academic institution.
Yeah, just with this OnlyFans, right? A lot of women are going on there because, and they call it a career when it's really not. And what's sad about it, that there is a lot of young women out there who are getting into this industry. And it's been encouraged by women because it's considered a career and achievement. I saw a video clip the other day about a college campus. A professor invited a OnlyFans star to come and do a lecture to her students. Let me say that again. A college campus, a professor invited a OnlyFans star to come and do a lecture in her class. That is wild, man. That's crazy. I can't believe that the college allowed this to happen. And when she arrived, when she walked in, what was so sad about this is that all the students were cheering her on. They stood up and gave her a round of applause, and they were screaming and yelling. Now, this is where we're at. If you ask me, that professor should be fired, right? Why are we inviting corn stars now to come and do lectures at universities? Where it's a house of education? What education are you going to get besides besides explicit, which is not going to help you in your future, right? Now, I'll give you a bet. Some of those women in that class would have walked away and said, I might want to do that. Yeah, it's just crazy, man. And this is where we're at in this day and age. And yeah, just like this woman here, she's got a PhD, right? But she gave that up for OnlyFans. Okay, she gave up her dignity, her sanctity, to go and do this, her integrity. She had a PhD, but she gave that up all for the dollars and to embarrass herself, denigrate herself while doing it. So her value has gone down. She would have more value if she stuck to her PhD.
Or the constraints of a corporate office. I can comfortably wake up each day and decide what I want to learn.
So this right here is Zara Dar, and she went viral for leaving a PhD program in bioengineering and computer science to go do OF. All because she wanted to make more money a lot easier.
For example, although my OnlyFans has been a side project while I pursued my PhD, I've been able to make
bioengineering. And so instead of going out to change the world like all these other engineers do, which you would have contributed to, you decided to go shake your ass. Okay.
Over $1 million. With that, I helped my family pay off their mortgage, I bought myself a car, and thankfully I avoided taking out any student loans. Now I have an investment portfolio and I'm planning on buying my own house soon.
I mean, just think about it. This girl had a bachelor's degrees in bioengineering and computer science, a master's in computer science, and was accepted into a PhD program for computer science, which would have easily landed her a top job at any Silicon Valley company or any New York-based banking or consulting firm. At any of these companies, she would easily be making between $300,000 and $500,000 a year on day one.
And she would have respect, right? She would have respect.
Not only because of her degrees, but look at her. She ticks off like 15 DI boxes, which up until not too long ago was basically the star in Super Mario Kart. Sorry, can't show any Nintendo stuff. It's safer to show ISIS beheading videos than anything Nintendo makes, because they will come for you and you will suffer. Anyways, Zara Dar here perfectly embodies why older men and younger women work so well together, because millions of women want the same thing Zara wants, but they don't want to debase themselves online.
I'm saying if you're on a date and he wants to pay for the bill, don't fight him, let him do it.
But he doesn't need to pay for my flight, but he's welcome to pay for my flight.
Because yes, even though OF offers young women an easy and fast way to make a lot of money, it does come at a serious price, and having an older boyfriend or husband who spoils you and treats you well is a lot more healthy and respectable than spreading your cheeks online for cash.
That's it.
This is why dating advice on how to find a rich guy is so popular.
If you want to date a wealthy man with a lot of money but you don't know where to find them, I'm going to tell you where to go.
Sitting at a bar alone is not how you're going to meet a six-figure man, and if you want to know the best way, then keep watching.
So clearly, young women and older men offer each other a perfect value exchange, and if you can add genuine interest and love on top of that, then you basically have a 10 out of 10 relationship. And some older women do actually get this.
Because a lot of older women become jaded and they may be abrasive and difficult to deal with, but ultimately younger women are just naturally more beautiful. If you ask a man if he's gonna pick a woman the same age or like 2 years younger than him and a woman who's 10 years younger than him with all of the other same character traits, of course he's gonna pick the younger woman. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Now for the ones that don't get it, they want to bring in the most pathetic excuse I've ever heard, which is that 21 and 22-year-old women are too young to date older men. Why? Because their prefrontal cortex hasn't fully developed yet.
Because the younger person is still developing their frontal cortex. I've talked about this online and I get a lot of pushback. Like, you're just old and bitter.
Okay, so
they can come up with any excuse, man, these women, right? To try and justify why it is not right. If you're two consenting adults, right? There's no problem with that.
Argument here is that a 21 or even 22-year-old adult woman is still too underdeveloped mentally to decide on whether or not she wants to have 40-year-old inside of her. What the actual
20, 21, 22-year-old girls, young women.
I would say this stops being applicable from like 30 plus, because I think 30 plus, everybody is an adult.
It is so ironic that women do not see how incredibly condescending that argument is, because you're basically saying that they are babies that aren't capable of fully analyzing all of the risk and danger associated.
When I was 21 years old, I still had that naivety to me, to the dating scene as well.
I mean, there's just no way to kind of, because you're manipulating someone who is not aware of what they're giving you.
So they shouldn't date, but they can drive, they can go get a job, they can go to the club, they can do all the things that a normal adult can do, but don't date. Is that what they're saying? Don't date because they're dumb at that. So they should date when they're 30. But when they're 21, 22, they can do all the things that an adult can do, but don't go out and date. What? That doesn't make sense.
And it's unfair.
Fine, if you really want to make the argument, then let's treat every single woman under the age of 23 as a fucking toddler. Because apparently, unlike 22-year-olds, I actually knew from the moment I was born that I did not want to fuck a 40-year-old man. Okay? Didn't need 23 years of prefrontal cortex development to decide on that. But if 22-year-old women are still such little babies that they can't decide on that because they can't assess the risk or consequences associated with it, then fine. That means you're not capable of driving or drinking or getting tattoos, voting on who runs the countries.
That's right. They get tattoos, they get piercings all over their face, but they can't date. That's what these women are saying. That they're naive to date. But they're not naive to drink, they're not naive to smoke, they're not naive to drive, they're not naive to get tattoos, they're not naive to vote, they're not naive to travel alone. All those things are fine, except for dating. That is their justification. Stupid, man.
Are you crazy? No traveling by yourself, no staying in hotels, no Botox, no butt lifts, no fillers, no going out all night, no clubbing, no living on your own, and definitely no social media. Because clearly you are just a little girl who needs to be protected from all of the big, evil, manipulative men.
And hear me out. When I was 25, I dated somebody who was 10 years older than me. So I fell into the trap. So like he finally like gets to be 40 years old or something and like makes his way up the social ladder a bit and uses that to try to lure in little girls.
It absolutely blows my mind that grown-ass women are still trying to infantilize themselves so much just so they can avoid any type of responsibility for their own actions.
But I am younger. It has taken me longer to learn stuff.
Don't
crying.
Infantilize yourself. Everyone your age is so infantilizing. Right, I don't understand. Everyone is maturing so much slower, and everyone is obsessed with, I'm young.
But isn't it a fact that women do mature faster than men? I need to look that up, but I'm sure that's a fact that women do mature faster than men.
I'm a kid!
Yep, that's exactly how I feel every single time I hear this bull about prefrontal cortex. And all that it does is make women look like a complete joke. Like, how are we supposed to respect or see women as equals when they still want to pretend that they're children at 22?
20, 21, 22-year-old girls.
To try to lure in little girls.
I'm like,
calling them little girls, but as I said before, they can get a license, they can vote, they can join the army, right? It's okay for them to join the army and risk their lives, but it's not okay for them to date. Come on, man.
30 plus, because I think 30 plus, everybody is an adult.
That is simply pathetic. But we all know what they're doing here. Yeah. We know that they don't even believe this nonsense themselves.
So many cop-outs here, man. So many cop-outs. And really, and I'm sure there's a lot of women out there who were probably insulted by that when that woman said that you probably reached an adult when you're 30. 30, really? A lot of women should be insulted by that comment.
Themselves, since every single chance they get, they scream about how women are these powerful goddesses with divine energy and can rule the world.
When you're a high priestess, goddess, spiritual being, intuitive, divine feminine that has already activated their powers.
Yeah, a goddess who can't decide on whether or not to date someone.
What are you, Wonder Woman? Huh? Where are you from? Wakanda? What the hell are you talking about?
Real powerful. Anyways, another example of this total nonsense and never taking accountability is the excuse that men are simply too afraid to commit or express their love for a woman.
Because there is nothing more unattractive than a man nearing his 30s or in his 30s or in his 20s or whenever that is scared to voice his feelings, that does not want to.
Yeah, you should know that men don't do that. Men hardly ever do that. So why should they do it for you? Yeah.
Seem to does not want to show people that he cares.
Yeah, it's totally not due to the fact that as some women get older, just like this one here, they start to get a lot more jaded and they get rejected a lot more.
And why are you so insecure in your own feelings and emotions that you can't tell the woman that you're with that you absolutely love her and that you want to keep her and that you want her to every single day and that she's beautiful and she's gorgeous?
Oh man, this is what hitting the wall at lightning speed looks like. Just complete chaos in that brain, not knowing what to do. This is the type of woman that blames everything and anyone in the universe for why her relationships keep failing, but refuses to take any accountability or place any blame on the one factor that is clearly at fault here.
And I want to make a very important note that I don't hate all men. I hate wounded men. I hate immature men. I hate narcissistic men. I hate predatory men. The fact that 95% of society and of men are like that is the problem.
Everywhere that I walk into, I walk in as if I own the place. I ask questions. I don't care about how annoying I can be or...
Just imagine dating this. You would age 10 years in just 10 days. This is insufferable. This woman thinks she's dropping some grade A knowledge, but in reality, she's just telling on herself about how she's basically getting played by men who do not care about her and do not want to be around her.
Yeah, all men are hearing is nag, 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 nag. Just a record player going over and over and over again. That's all men are hearing. Men want peace. That's it.
I really have no attachments to this 3D world and to this 3D society, meaning that I have no family, no friends, no boyfriend.
Jeez, I wonder why. This is the perfect example of an attitude that just exudes "fuck men and I don't need men," but then she posts things like this. I mean, you just can't make this shit up. She wants to manifest a husband, but she also wants to tell every guy to fuck off. Just an amazing combination. And what's even more hilarious about her manifesting a husband is that she posted this at the end of March, but listen to what she had to say at the beginning of March.
Again, I haven't dated a man since last year. I haven't been in a talking stage or anything like that with any man since then, and I'm not interested in that.
Yeah, it's always these type of women who scream the loudest that they don't need a man, who are actually secretly the most desperate for a man, and will start to completely panic the hardest as they get older.
That's right. Those that are screaming the loudest are the ones that want men desperately. That's why they come on and complain.
Because it doesn't stop at just trying on wedding dresses and manifesting a husband, since she's getting all of this cosmetic work done and it looks painful as hell. I simply can't show you these photos here because they would be flagged for gross bodily harm, but picture someone who just got the beat out of them with two massive black eyes. And so, you know, the sad thing about all of this is that she never actually needed all of this cosmetic work. All that she really needed to do is just be kind, be respectful, and be feminine towards men. And she would have easily been married a long time ago.
Yeah.
But for modern women, as they age, it becomes near impossible to do just this basic thing of being kind and loyal to men. So when we see this happening over and over again, then this graph starts to make a lot more sense. This
Alright.
was older women furious at men for dating younger.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. The video just speaks for itself, man. You know, I hope they get why a lot of older men are going for younger women, you know. But we'll leave it there. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.